Hey all, Steve here. Welcome back to another video, getting back on the DC2. And at the end of this video, this thing is going to be on the ground and driving. First up, I have the RTV, high temp RTV in hand so we can seal up the exhaust leaks. Then we got a few other bushings to take care of. But anyway, we're getting this thing back on the ground and driving. Let's go. It's been sitting a minute, so I want to get it started. I'm just going to double check where it's leaking from. So we'll see if it starts. Promising. There we go. So let's feel around for some exhaust leaks. The rear one actually feels pretty good. Alright, so it might just be the B pipe or the mid pipe there in the middle of the car, but I'm just gonna do both ends of that pipe because it might be, I don't know, just play safe, whatever. Well, I've got it off and cleaned up a little bit, and you can see I was trying to bend the flange by beating it into shape a little bit, and that did work a little bit. I keep saying a little bit. Anyway, you can see this little edge of the inside pipe is sticking out, and that is exactly where it's leaking from. I don't know if it's enough to actually be the leak and causing it to not seal, but it definitely is the spot where it was leaking. All right, so neighbor came through and saved the day again. Well, almost. We shaved those areas of the pipes that were kind of protruding on all the surfaces where it was protruding. It got a lot better for a leak, but it's still leaking, so now I'm gonna put the RTV on it because it's reduced greatly to where I feel like the RTV is gonna just seal it, and at this point I think it's just the flanges are the stamp style flanges, and it is what it is. They're just kind of crappy. So the small leak we have now, I feel like the RTV is actually going to be able to seal that versus kind of like the big bursts we were having before where it would probably blow out again. So RTV time. Whew, it is hot, but I got the gaskets gooped, and they're, I don't know if you see it. Here you go. So we gotta wait 24 hours, so that's all we can do today on that. But I got something really cool to show you guys inside after I get a drink of water and eat some lunch. All right, hydrated, ate some lunch, took a shower, feel all fresh again. You can see this is the DC2 stash, but it's not all DC2 parts. What we're here to see is in these boxes here. Cue the sexy unboxing music. So yeah, I just want to share with you guys what I think is a really cool find. These were not from Yahoo Auctions, they're not from UpGarage, these are from another national chain secondhand store. Just, kind of stumbled across and found them, and they kind of fit what he was looking for. So if you're not having luck on the bigger known sites, sometimes it takes a little more hunting, and sometimes, it just takes patience for what you're looking for to come available. But yeah, what a cool, true OG set of wheels, brand new. So I'm gonna get these packed up, minimize shipping and all that, and then sent off to him. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow once the RTVs had 24 hours to cure. We'll be back on the DC2. Yeah, baby! Woo! Mission accomplished there, no leaks! Heck yeah, both of them are sealed up. That is awesome. Let's let it warm up a second and do a little no leaking revs. So how good does that sound? It's not like an obnoxious sound at all. It's like a just like a really solid whoosh, whoosh sound, if that makes sense. Like not raspy. I'm thrilled with that. Like it's gonna be enjoyable, sound good at higher RPMs, but like it doesn't sound any louder than stock right now, kind of. Like it's just, it's really nice. All right, so that is a huge win, victory, whatever, and you're like, now Steve, put it on the ground. Almost. There's one, not one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 things I need to do before I can put this back on the ground for good, I think. I've got all these dust boots for the front suspension that I need to get on there in order to pass shock in, and I've got one drive shaft boot to change as well. Not looking forward to that, but I think I'm gonna time lapse you guys, and I'm literally gonna just bang this out. Yeah, I'm gonna fire up the audiobook, time lapse you guys, and we'll see you in a little bit. I guess let me explain a little bit if you haven't been watching the channel or whatever. I got a bunch of these torn suspension boots, tie rod, upper ball joint, lower ball joint. Here in Japan, you don't have to change the whole thing. If you change it soon enough before it goes bad, you can just buy the boot and change the boot, and then we'll be road legal. So that's what's in the bag, these little dust boots, if you've never seen that before. Unfortunately, you have to do all the work basically of changing everything, but you only have to change like a $2 part instead of 50 or 20 or whatever. So, okay, now let's get into it. All right, so I realized the angles were terrible and the time lapse was complete shit. So scrap the time lapse, just got to work. You can see I built myself a little temporary shade here, rigged up on a chair, pinched in the hood, just enough to keep me shaded. Anyway, side number 1 is done. As you can see, we got fresh. They're looking really bloated, but I think they'll be okay anyway. And the big surprise, and if you're doing this yourself, since this is like a standard kind of like spring strut combo, I thought this spring would still have, you know, downward pressure on the lower control arms. So I popped the lower mounting bolt, and to my surprise, there was no tension on that bolt. So once I pulled that bolt, you know, the lower arm could then move up and down free of the suspension and stuff like that. So yeah, if you have full coilovers, it's probably not an issue, but if you have a spring strut combo like this, it might actually work out to we have no tension on anything. It's got like full droop, and you can kind of take it apart easily. So anyway, the easy side is done. The next side will be the challenge, because I got to do the drive shaft boot over there as well. So I'm gonna transfer over there and keep going. Better look at the makeshift tent rig. Check that out. Pinched in the hood, propped on a chair, an old wheel wedging it down for weight. But yeah, it's supposed to be, I guess it's like 90 today. Not crazy windy luckily, not rainy luckily. So yeah, just trying to get this done today while we have good weather, favorable conditions, because man, it has been, well, we had like a typhoon move through, so we've just had tons of rain recently. Our whole rainy season basically got shifted to the month of August, and then it's been like mid 90s and just crazy humid. So anyway, just yeah, trying to hammer this out and get this thing on the ground. Chipping away, making good progress. I got the, what is this, the driver's side? Get out of here. I got the driver's side boots all done. Now I just got the shaft pulled because this boot here is torn. So I don't know, I've gotta weasel it out of here or take this off and slide it out or something. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Probably running out of time for today, which is a bummer, but hopefully I can get this wrapped up tomorrow, because man, I just want to be done with this little part of the refresh. So let's keep chugging. All right, back out here. New day, fresh. Let's try and get this back together. But first, let me show you something real quick. So this was one of the questions that was lingering, and with the drive shaft out, I think it answers it. Unfortunately, let's see. So I don't know if you can see it. Looks like the light's picking it up, but there is that pin going across diagonally inside the transmission, and that means this is an open differential, I believe, right? If you can see straight through it, then it would be a limited slip. Yeah, so kind of a bummer, but on this model, the limited slip was an option that, you know, someone had to check when they ordered the car. So yeah, it looks like it's just an open differential, down the road upgrade, blah, blah, blah. But I was really hoping for an LSD. For now, the car's gonna run, so that's all I care about. Okay, so here is the next task at hand. You can see I cleaned up, this is the outer CV joint. I cleaned it up as best I could, just wiping grease and stuff off of it. Not like a real thorough cleaning yet. We have the new boot here. This is solid, you know, one-piece boot style. Goes on there. They do make an easy boot that's kind of slit through here, and then it kind of like clamps back together with some glue. and that would go on this end. And I'll explain why in a second, but that is 100% what I should have bought to do this CV joint, and I could have done it all in the car and been done. But when I was reading the factory service manual, you gotta take off this boot, you gotta take off this dampener, you gotta pull all that off, and then you might as well clean it all up, put fresh grease and stuff in there, yada yada. Then you get access to here, and you can slide your new boot on there, yada yada, reverse install. So as I was reading that, I was thinking, well, I'll just rock this boot and reuse it as is. But you can see it's got those baby little hairline cracks going on in there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that might last another 10,000 kilometers. It might last another like 500 kilometers. I don't know. I just kind of shot myself in the foot because I've had the boot for literally months knowing I needed to do all this. I just didn't realize I had to take everything off and do it all. If I'm gonna do it, I might as well just do it and be done, and then have one fresh drive shaft, and then, you know, at some point the other side, that boot will probably go and I can just redo that whole one. But like I've said in other videos, like parts shops here are just not like they are there with, like, you know, O'Reilly's running there and they got a whole aisle full of parts ready to go. Sometimes you get lucky at the smaller parts stores and like the generic stuff like boots, dust boots for the tie rods and ball joints, like they got all that in stock, and like air filters and common stuff. So I could spend a bunch of time running around today trying to do that and track one of those down. Instead of burning up a whole bunch of time doing that, I might as well just hop online, order another one. It'll be here tomorrow or another day or two or whatever. So I'm just gonna pause button this, get the rest of the parts. I did promise getting this thing back on the ground, but I don't want these videos to get stretched out so far. So yeah, I just got stuck at the very last part of the last thing to get this thing on the ground. Fresh ball joint boots, tie rod boots, everything on the front end. Amazing day yesterday, knocked out like a ton of it. Got this thing pulled, like I thought we were that close to being back on the ground and rolling. I got something exciting I want to show you guys next time when it is on the ground, so stay tuned for that. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's a short one. Much love, be well. I'm Nerd Gold JP for all your parts buying needs.